right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. You are well? Wellness check? Fantastic. All right, so we are back again with some more transforming stories and the stories that change lives. And so happy to be part of this for 14 years. Started this October 2008, and it's going on 14 years. I think that's the right math. I didn't do well in math at school, but yes. It just keeps going and going. It started online and then branched out to TV, and now it's part of radio and podcasts. So I was a teacher at college, and then I just said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm so glad I did. And now look where we are at Go Live Studios and expanding even more. So moral of the story, just go for it and leap over that wall of fear because you don't know what's on the other side. All right. So we are back again with some more incredible guests, and I'm so happy to say for the second time, they have been back for the second time. They were on for a Christmas show, and it was a fantastic show, and they're back again to tell us a little bit more about what they're doing in the community. They're transforming lives in the wonderful work they do. So please welcome back Lorraine Jordan and Mandy Branham to the show.
Thanks, Nikki.
You're welcome. Thank you again for your time. And so we'll start with Lorraine. Lorraine, I was looking through your bio, and I have family who are entrepreneurs. So I've been around them, and I see their hustle. And I think I started my own business, officially registered, when I was 21. But I read that you started your business when you were in high school. So can we talk about how that happened?
It's a pretty long story.
You've got 15 minutes.
Yeah, basically I worked at a local mom and pop grocery store, and I started there when I was 13, had a great time there, and I did a co-op through school for real estate and just fell in love with it. So I was 18 years old when I first got my license. 18 years.
Well, congratulations. I mean, you've got an incredible career from that time, but that license isn't easy to get, I understand, right? It's a difficult exam. It's a little bit of work involved in preparing for it.
It was probably easier back then, perhaps. They were working on it, making it a 2-year course, and because of the online opportunity that has occurred over the last 2 years, we're able to coach people to get through it within 6 months.
Okay.
And we do some on-the-side coaching with people so that when they actually have their license, they can hit the ground running. And yeah, we've done that with the team. It's been very successful.
Excellent. And how many people do you have on your team, Team Jordan?
There's over 20 of us in total. There's 9 agents. We've had people doing anywhere. The top we ever had was in their first year sell 84 properties.
Fantastic.
And we just had one of our agents sell over 100 properties in 1 year. And I also had somebody that was they were around 65, 67 properties a year while taking 12 weeks off. So also the balance, not just always about selling.
How many did you sell?
Yeah, how many did you sell out of the 100?
I always sell roughly 100 properties every year. So
wow.
Still actively while running the team.
She's amazing. She's amazing. That's why you're the best in your field, and you partner with the best.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mandy started off as a client, and we became friends, and now we're business partners and doing some really incredible things together and empowering other women and men to invest and seize the opportunity of real estate.
Excellent. So I wanted to ask you, you talk about, untraditional approaches to dealing with real estate setbacks. Can we talk about maybe 3 that you've observed or you've had experience with over this span of time as a real estate professional?
It's so funny. You say that, and I always think there's so many different ways. Like, I always look at things, and I would say one of my biggest assets is being a strategist. So visionary and strategy. So it's always thinking, no matter what the problem is, there's a way around it, there's a way over it, through it, kind of like where you started this off with climbing over that wall of fear. So Everything from how, like I had a client the other day, we were talking about generational living, so having multiple families, 2, 3, whatever, living at the same residence, and how that needs to be structured, how it can happen, how you can finance and bring people together, which is really great. First-time home buyers, people, I've been making a lot of comments about, the prices are higher. I don't know how they're going to get into the market. Well, it's simple. Buy a duplex, buy a multifamily property. I mean, we've seen properties where, the average price in a neighborhood is, 1.3, 1.4 million, and for 1.8, you can buy a multi-unit building that has an income, and that helps you to qualify as well. So just really thinking out of the box. Same with estate sales. I think we do. I know. She's gonna laugh at me because I said I think. I know we do. It's estate sales really well, where we're helping the families. Especially with COVID the last couple of years, where family might not have been able to come to town to deal with the assets in the building, or get, maybe doing some prep work, and how we were able to help them through that. And that's just something we've always done. So, there's kind of no such thing as a setback. Just tell me what the problem is and we'll find a solution.
Excellent. Okay, I love that. And speaking of solutions, this is your this is your expertise. So Mandy, tell us about how it evolved into you becoming a specialist in joint ventures and the manifestation of those great solutions.
And where my motto of I am solutions driven came from.
Absolutely.
So my husband and I, we work really hard, and we weren't getting ahead the way that we really wanted to, or thought that all of these efforts that we were putting into things should be getting us ahead. And so we said, hey, where can we go? What industry? How do we turn ourselves into an entrepreneur or entrepreneurs where we get the direct results of how hard we work? And real estate popped up, as you put it into your RAS filter, all these different places come up. So it was on the news and a friend, and so we just turned to real estate to realize that if we put in the effort to be able to offer housing to people within our community and change our community based on, clean, safe, and appropriate housing for people, what would the difference be in a child's life if that's how they left for school, or in a single mother's life if she didn't have to worry about where she lived, and if we could help those people sell a property after a hard time with a family member passing, if we could make the buying process really easy, would that benefit everybody? And so that's really how it turned out. It's how I got introduced to Lorraine. A friend said, Lorraine called her one day and said, hey, is there anybody that would need some help in real estate? And our friend said, yeah, you need to meet this Mandy, my friend Mandy. and we've kind of been inseparable since, creating housing solutions, investing solutions for a wide range of people.
I love that. And I love when I was reading your bio that you push the idea of partnership, and how when people come together, it's faster for them to get to a solution than doing it alone. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, so a joint venture in real estate is when two people come together. Each have unique resources. Somebody might have money, somebody might have the property, somebody might have the knowledge of being a contractor, somebody might have the opportunity, the deal, the property. And it's like together everybody accomplishes more, isn't that, team? But so we come together and I say, let's do more because we're able to work together rather than trompsing through all by ourselves, trying to do it with the resources that we only have. Whereas if we all share our resources, then we can get ahead. And what do they say? I'd rather have half a watermelon than a whole grape. And it really is true to a real estate investment opportunity.
Excellent. So now I'll turn back to Lorraine, and then Mandy, you can come in. But I wanted to know, what are you doing together as a partnership right now? What can we anticipate in the next little bit?
Anticipate, there's a word. We never stop. Right now we're in the middle of renovating kind of the final touches on a 10-plex that we purchased.
Wow.
and renovated right down to new plumbing, everything, you name it. It's looking fantastic. We're excited about that
Where's that?
project. That one's up in Sudbury.
Okay.
And we've been looking at a property that's just over 20 units actually in Toronto. So that's Mandy has a couple properties, and yeah, now we're looking at something here. So we'll be doing a renovation job on that. And yeah, we're just having some fun looking for different and unique opportunities that work.
Okay, well, I'm looking for a spot May 1st, so we're going to talk. It's coming up fast.
That's coming up fast. But in this Sudbury building, Lorraine sent a picture one time of the sewer drains, and the typical size of a sewer drain. There might have been a quarter worth of space left in this sewer drain. Like, these properties that we are finding and bringing back to life are almost at the end of their life. They're just ready to be, brought up to a par. And, I know that there's a lot of people that, talk about, landlords are trying to, move them around and stuff. But I also want people to understand and see from a perspective that we are improving the quality of people's living conditions. And this one unit we went in the 20 unit, the lady was like, oh, they just, sprayed for bugs, and there's this, and the water and the sewers. And I thought, that's not fair that this lovely lady with her beautiful little dog didn't have a stove that had worked for 4 years and had to live like this. And I thought, that's not fair to her. Who is this landlord to negate all of the maintenance that was really required? And so I think it's changing the conversation with people to say, you deserve a great place to live, a healthy place to live. Let's find you that healthy place to live.
You don't have to compromise a space for any of the basic needs of food or warmth. It happens, and people have to make those choices. Do I buy groceries, or do I pay my rent or my mortgage? So yeah, it's good to have that kind of sensitivity and work with landlords who can provide a little extra just to, make things work with your.
And so, as Lorraine we enter into joint ventures, and we are saying to people, like, you don't have to know what we know, like 30 years experience. She's the genius behind the offers and being able to get these properties under contract. So if there are people that are like, hey, I want to change, I want to invest in real estate, I want to offer housing to people, this is where that partnership comes in. So if somebody wants to partner with us, there's lots of different ways to reach out and connect with us and be part of the next transformation of a building.
Fantastic. And how can people find you, Mandy?
I'm mandybranham.com, online right there behind me, on social media, known as the Joint Venture Queen. And Lorraine?
I'm teamjordan.ca, so easy enough to find. One of the things I'd like to touch on with Mandy too is the what I really liked about Mandy is, I had lots of different investors looking for properties several years ago. But Mandy always referred to her tenants as her clients. They weren't, that kind of, I got tenants to deal with. She was always excited about working with her clients, and that meant a lot to me. So it was very community based. If it was, if she had a senior upstairs, she put a senior downstairs so that they were building community. We encourage people. Again, over the last couple of years, having people rent space together, so maybe 3 people in a 3-bedroom apartment and building that community. Just, I don't know, we saw a lot of people go through that and just, they perk up. They're part of something. They're not just, living in a room.
Yeah. It's about relationships. And
Always.
That's, you've built your empire on relationships, and that's the most important foundation. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I'm all about that. I'm not a one-off. I want to make sure that everybody's good, and we can keep this going and see how we can build together.
Yeah.
The power of co.
Yeah, and something else that Lorraine and I have, we'll call it normalized between ourselves and share out, but the conversation about finances, about being able to talk about money, your financial situation, your future, like how are you going to be in 10 years and in 20 years? And that's not a bad thing, but let's talk about it today and just normalizing the conversation around funds and mortgages. Like, I've probably had more conversations about mortgages with people that had never talked that way, or just reframing the understanding of how to create financial security for yourself. This isn't about getting rich. It's not, we run a multi-million-dollar business, but it's about creating financial security for each and every investor that we're part of, and it just kind of happens one relationship at a time.
Yeah, it's about home ownership legacy, and for you to frame how that happens in a very practical way, which you both do, it takes away the fear from a lot of people about home ownership and why they may be a little intimidated to try.
For sure, and it grows even larger than, we had one couple that we met, and they pulled out the equity of their home. So they had purchased a home in Toronto many years ago, and they pulled out the equity, and they're going to have 2 duplexes, a single-family home, a 5-plex, 3 duplexes. Yeah, all within like a year. And it's not just a matter of, they own a home and there's financial security. They've changed their life trajectory through this.
And their families.
Yeah. Right? They have 2 children, steady jobs, and they're both, it's interesting because they're both in roles where they're impacting lives. So here they are doing it on another level. It's that alignment piece that's, really amazing. And, we had one tenant that had some issues and some, challenges. And they were very understanding. We said, we're going to probably help this guy out and do this. And they were so supportive of it. Again, it was just nice to see that.
Excellent. Well, I'm always so delighted to, have a chat with you, and really conversations that matter. And I appreciate everything that you're doing to change lives. Very important work, and I commend you. So I'd love to have you back again anytime you want, so we can continue this conversation. And I certainly do need a little bit of help in that department. So I like the way that you break it down easily for people to understand. So thank you.
We'll have to bring pictures.
And numbers.
Numbers.
We do talk a lot of numbers and make numbers understandable.
Okay, that's good. That's very good, especially for me. But I want to thank you, Lorraine, Jordan, Mandy Branham. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be back.